2 months pregnant, Daniel Brown demanded I give blood to his childhood sweetheart, Chloe. Already anemic, I refused, my eyes burning. But his friends just called me selfish. Chloe is on the operating table. You're the only match. What's the big deal about donating a little blood? With that, they practically dragged me inside. A flicker of hesitation crossed Daniel's eyes, but he hardened his gaze. It's just a blood donation. Our baby will be fine. I stopped struggling, a single tear sliding down my cheek. After the transfusion, a sudden, excruciating pain ripped through my abdomen. The baby we'd hoped for 3 years was gone. I stayed in the hospital alone for 3 days after the miscarriage. Meanwhile, Daniel remained glued to Chloe's side, never leaving her. My womb felt empty, but it was my heart that truly ached. As I was discharged, I coincidentally ran into Chloe and Daniel, surrounded by their usual group of friends. I carried my backpack, utterly alone, while Daniel helped Chloe walk, supporting her every step. When his gaze landed on me, Daniel paused. Why are you still at the hospital? I fine. I hid the miscarriage, my face pale, and walked towards the exit. Let's go together. Daniel grabbed my arm, his tone leaving no room for argument. By the car, Chloe quickly slipped into the passenger seat. She looked innocent. Zara, I just had stomach ulcer surgery. I get car sick easily. Could you let me have this spot? I didn't feel like arguing, so I just opened the back door. But all his friends piled into the back, 3 grown men squeezing in next to me. They stared at me, their voices unfriendly. Zara, Chloe is still very weak. We're all coming to your place to look after her. I looked at Daniel in the driver's seat. His face was tight, but he didn't say a word to object. I smiled soundlessly. The cicadas on the trees chirped clearly. How could I still have expectations for a man like this? Daniel's friends had never liked me. In their eyes, Chloe and Daniel were soulmates. I was just the wicked outsider trying to break them up. When they visited our home, everyone treated me like a servant, and Daniel never once stood up for me. Even when I was carrying his child, I still had to give blood to Chloe. In the end, I didn't even get a thank you. All they'd say was, "It's your honor." This wasn't the first time I'd been wronged, but it was the first time I chose to accept it calmly. Okay, I'll go home by myself. I closed the car door and turned, walking away first. It was rush hour, and I couldn't even hail a cab. In the scorching heat of midsummer, having just suffered a miscarriage, I walked for an hour under the blazing sun to get home. The moment I pushed open the door, a barrage of accusations greeted me. Zara, why are you so slow? We've been home for ages. We haven't eaten all night. Let's try Zara's cooking again. I looked at Daniel and Chloe. It was a hot summer day, but the AC wasn't on inside the house. They were worried that frail Chloe might catch a chill. So Daniel sat beside her, fanning her. Even though his own forehead was beaded with sweat, he ignored it, completely absorbed in fawning over Chloe. Seeing me silent, Carter called out to Daniel. Daniel, everyone's hungry. Tell Zara to make us something to eat. Only then did Daniel look up, ignoring my pale face, and gave orders as if it were his right. Zara, be a good girl and prepare us a simple meal. And make a special stew for Chloe. It'll help her recover. The dull ache in my heart twisted into a sharp, agonizing stab, making it hard to breathe. I walked into the kitchen with my head down, cutting off their joyful chatter. It felt as if I were the outsider, completely out of place among them. In the past, I would have argued hysterically with them, as if that could salvage my dignity. But little did I know, doing so only fueled their arrogance. Compared to my tantrums, Chloe always seemed so sweet and reasonable. But now, I didn't want to fight anymore. This group of people, this kind of partner, simply wasn't worth it. When I brought out the prepared dishes, I was drenched in sweat. Chloe willingly took the food from my hands, but the moment I let go, she suddenly pulled away. The food spilled everywhere, and the ceramic plate shattered into pieces. Watch out. Daniel, quick as a flash, shielded Chloe. My exposed calf, however, was scalded a bright red. Zara, I know you don't like me, but you shouldn't intentionally drop plates. Not a single drop of soup had splashed on her, yet Chloe burst into tears, throwing herself into Daniel's arms as if she'd suffered a great injustice. Yeah, Zara, what are you doing? Zara, you've been targeting Chloe for ages. We're all just good friends. Why are you like this? She was the one who let go first. I coldly watched the chorus of voices scolding me and spoke softly. They were about to say more, but Daniel cut them off sharply. Zara, apologize. You've gone too far this time. Chloe just got out of the hospital, and you scared her. In the scorching summer heat, I shivered all over. I felt a chill to my bones. The burning pain in my calf was less than a fraction of the agony in my heart. I looked at the man who had once been my greatest source of security and strength, now torturing me slowly, like an executioner. Something inside me snapped. Fine iaporogice. I smiled bitterly, tears uncontrollably welling in my eyes. Daniel froze for a moment, trying to reach for me, but I dodged him. The food's ready, I've apologized. Can I go back to my room and bandage my injury now? I showed him my skin, already blistering from the scald, hoping he would let me go. With that, I ignored the mess on the floor and turned back to my room. Outside the door, it was noisy. I heard Chloe's whiny voice. I'm sorry. Zara is only angry because of me. I'm just a jinx. I won't cause you any more trouble. I heard the door open. Chloe ran out, and the whole group rushed after her, worried. The doors slammed shut loudly. Just as I thought Daniel had gone out too, he pushed the door open and entered. Daniel hugged me from behind, his hand gently stroking my lower abdomen. Zara, why can't you just cut her some slack? Chloe is still like a child. She needs you to be more patient with her. Besides, we have a baby on the way now. Once things at work settle down, we'll finally have our wedding. Don't be mad, okay? His voice was unexpectedly gentle, with a hint of pleading. So, you still remember I was pregnant? I pushed his hand away, unable to stop the sarcastic bite in my voice. Daniel's smile froze. His phone rang in his pocket. He answered, and Carter's voice was unusually clear in the quiet room. Daniel, hurry over. Chloe fainted on the way, and someone needs to pay the hospital fees. Daniel didn't hesitate, immediately pulling out the bank card we'd saved money on together from the nightstand. Are you crazy, Daniel? I stopped him, furious. For Chloe, you're going to take our baby savings, aren't you? Daniel tried to push past my obstruction. That's enough, Zara. It's a matter of life and death, and you're only thinking about your petty concerns. How selfish can you be? I frantically hit his shoulders, and his momentum pulled me out of the room. I'm selfish. She's your childhood sweetheart, not mine. How dare you use my money for her? Daniel, provoked by something I said, pushed me roughly to the ground like an enraged animal. No one had cleaned up the scattered debris. I collapsed onto it, exhausted. A sharp pain shot through my body. I lifted my arm. My back and arms were covered in cuts. Daniel had already left, without even a backward glance. Seeing my hands covered in blood, I used my last ounce of strength to dial 911 before losing consciousness. In a blur of fading awareness, I dreamt of that young boy who went with me to pray at church. His hands clasped, his expression devout. I'll love and protect Zara forever. If I ever break this promise, may I die a horrible death. When I woke up again, it was late at night. The dark hospital room was empty except for me. Nurse Olivia came in to offer me a glass of water, carefully helping me sit up. She looked at me, wrapped in bandages, and said with a sympathetic tone, Miss Zara, you just had a miscarriage and now you're in this state again? Please make sure to get plenty of rest. I closed my eyes, bitterness and pain washing over me. I thanked her softly, my heart filled with endless sorrow. I opened my phone and saw that Carter had posted an update on INS. Looks like Daniel still cares about Chloe the most. The accompanying picture showed Daniel sitting on a hospital bed with Chloe's head resting on his lap, smiling contentedly and happily. Cheating scum. No wonder they say they're truly meant for each other. My heart ached until it was numb. I forced down the sorrow. They weren't worth my tears or my sadness. I logged into my mobile banking and checked the balance. Thankfully, my $15,000 was still there. I calmly transferred the money to my personal account. My marriage with Daniel, like our child, had reached its end. I called Karen Hayes, the general manager. Karen, is there still a chance for me to transfer to headquarters? A week ago, I had been offered a transfer to headquarters for my outstanding work, but I'd refused due to my pregnancy, not wanting to be separated from Daniel. But now I didn't need to consider any of that. Zara, aren't you pregnant? Just rest and take care of your pregnancy for now. There will be other opportunities, and I'll keep you in mind for future openings. Listening to Karen's gentle voice, I took a deep breath to calm myself. Karen, I lost the baby. I want to return to work as soon as possible. Karen was silent for a few seconds on the other end of the line. I'll add your name back to the list. A miscarriage is a serious matter, though. Take another week to rest before reporting to headquarters. I affirmed, my voice choked. Thank you, Karen. During that week in the hospital, Daniel never once contacted me. Perhaps he hadn't even realized I was still pregnant. I wasn't surprised. It had always been like this. I used to make excuses for him over and over, but not anymore. After a week of rest in the hospital, my body had mostly recovered, and I checked out. During that time, I scrolled through many of Chloe's posts, each one related to Daniel. In the photos, Chloe looked like a princess adored by all, surrounded by their group. Next to her were nutritious meals and countless small gifts, while I had nothing by my side during my hospitalization. The pearl necklace Daniel had once promised to buy me was now glaringly hanging around Chloe's neck. Strangely, seeing all this again, I could scroll past it without a flicker of emotion. Back home, it was just as I had left it that day. It seemed Daniel had been at the hospital taking care of Chloe the whole time. He hadn't returned home, nor did he know I had been hospitalized. I quickly packed my bags, gathered all my belongings, threw away the photo on the nightstand, burned the love letters he'd once written to me, and placed my wedding ring on the table. After all that, I looked at the empty house, just as it had been when we first moved in. I lowered my gaze to the divorce papers in front of me, picked up a pen, and signed my name. Before I could even call Daniel back to sign the divorce papers, he returned himself. When he entered, I was on the phone handing over my work responsibilities to a colleague. My colleague asked about my flight date, and I replied, "It's tomorrow afternoon." Seeing Daniel come in, I hung up. He frowned and asked, "What's happening tomorrow afternoon? A prenatal checkup?" I put my phone away and calmly replied, "Work-related, no checkup." Only then did I notice he was carrying a takeout bag. Meeting my eyes, he offered the bag. "I'm sorry, Zara. Chloe has been in the hospital these past few days, and I couldn't leave her. I bought you some food to help you recover." I didn't take the bag, and the faint smell of fish made me feel a wave of nausea. We'd been married for so many years, yet he didn't even know I couldn't eat fish. How ironic. But now, I didn't even have the energy to argue. "Oh, right, these are Chloe's clothes. They're silk, so you can't machine wash them. You can hand wash them tonight." Hearing his words and looking at the man in front of me, I suddenly began to wonder. Had he changed, or had I simply married this kind of person all along? I bit my lip and said in a low voice, "Just leave them there." I need to go back to grab some change of clothes, he said, then quickly went into the bedroom to pack. I picked up the divorce papers and walked over to him. Daniel, our mortgage is paid off. We just need to sign this. He didn't suspect a thing, took the pen, and quickly signed his name. I watched him grab his clothes and leave the house. I booked a flight for 2 hours later. Taking off my ring, I placed the divorce papers and the miscarriage surgery report on the table. These were the last things I would leave for Daniel. As for him and me, this was the end. Daniel's eyes were bloodshot, probably from several nights of staying at the hospital. Chloe frowned at his disheveled look and feigned concern. Daniel, you should go back and rest for a few days. Let Carter take over. Daniel looked at the empty chat window with Zara and swallowed the words of refusal.